Hello and welcome back to BikeRide Reviews, where today we're testing the Lancet Pro MD from the new Canadian brand EBIKECAN. This step-through commuter has a 250-watt Bafang mid-drive motor, a Gates carbon belt drive, and a Shimano Nexus internally geared hub, all for around 3,600 Canadian. The question I'm looking to answer today is whether the overall ride experience and quality are worth the price. So let's get started. The Lancet Pro MD arrived well packaged and almost fully assembled, with only the handlebars and front wheel left to install. One thing worth noting is that our test bike didn't come with an assembly and maintenance guide. EBIKECAN says that they're working on writing the guide, and they'll post it online when it's finished. But this is a silly omission for any bike brand. Sure, the bike is easy to assemble, but this information should be ready to go for the first product sale. The Lancet Pro MD has an aluminum step-through frame. The paint finish looks sharp. The integrated battery sits flush in the down tube, and the frame seems sturdy. The frame is only available in one size, with an optimistic recommended range of 5'1" to 6'4". The bike's payload capacity is just 240 pounds, which is below average for commuter e-bikes. I weighed the bike at 29.52 kilograms, or 65.1 pounds with the battery installed. So it's one of the heavier mid-drive commuters that we've reviewed at BikeRide. The Pro Max adjustable stem gives you flexibility to dial in your fit, and the low 16-inch standover means that most riders will be able to mount and dismount with little effort. The motor is Bafang's M410 mid-drive with 250 watts of nominal power and 80 Newton-meters of torque. Power comes from a 48-volt, 15 amp-hour or 720 watt-hour removable battery. Charging is done with a 3-amp charger that takes roughly 5 hours for a full charge. EBIKECAN claims that this battery will provide up to 60 miles or 100 kilometers of range. The Lancet Pro MD's drivetrain is excellent. It includes a Gates Carbon CDX belt drive paired with a Shimano Nexus 8-speed internally geared hub. This belt drive and hub gearing combination is cleaner, quieter, lower maintenance, and longer lasting than traditional drivetrains, making it an excellent choice for commuter e-bikes. Stopping is handled by Tektro's budget-level HD M275 hydraulics with 180mm rotors front and rear. The Lancet rolls on Innova-branded 2.1-inch tires with reflective sidewalls and 27.5-inch rims. Touch points include a set of lock-on grips, a Cell Royale saddle, and alloy platform pedals. And the bike comes with a rear rack rated to carry 20 kilograms, a kickstand, and front and rear lights. So how does all of that translate when you get out on the road? The low and wide step-through frame makes it very easy to mount the bike. And I found a comfortable upright riding position very quickly. If you're not comfortable, the adjustable stem lets you fine-tune that fit quickly with a single Allen key. During my longer range tests over a mix of pavement and hard-packed gravel like I'm riding on right now, I found the bike and saddle to both be reliably comfortable. Off the line, the motor engages very smoothly. There's no jerk and no surge. Just smooth acceleration that's matched to your pedal input. In our 0 to 20 test, the Lancet Pro took 10 seconds to reach 20 miles per hour using pedal assist. I found the most comfortable cruising speed to be around 16 miles per hour, which is in the mid-20s for kilometers. You can push up to the top speed of 20 miles per hour or 32 kilometers an hour, but it does take quite a bit of pedal effort. And I found I had to pedal hard to hold it there. Accelerating with just the throttle, on the other hand, is pretty measured and slow. It took 21 seconds for me to accelerate to 20 miles per hour using just the throttle.
So you're better off using the throttle to maintain your speed once you've already gotten going, rather than using it to accelerate from a dead stop. As I expected from previous test bikes, there were no issues with the Gates carbon belt drive. I didn't have any tension issues, and it didn't make any weird noises throughout testing. The Nexus Inter 8 was a different story though, and it took a little bit of getting used to. In order to actually complete a shift, you have to ease off the pedals a little bit, or stop pedaling for a second. Then it'll actually shift. That said, once you get used to that little quirk, the payoff is a drivetrain that requires almost no maintenance. The Tektro hydraulic brakes were a high point for me. Lever feel is firm and progressive, and stopping power is strong. I also didn't notice much brake fade even after repeated strong braking. The SR Suntour fork, on the other hand, is a bit of a disappointment.
It bottomed out easily under my 90 kilograms.
And it would dive hard during braking. There's also no lockout, just a preload adjustment on each stanchion. On a bike whose components otherwise feel pretty premium, the fork is a bit of a letdown. And finally, I was able to feel a little bit of frame flex riding the bike around, especially if I were to shake it from side to side while I'm on it. I didn't experience any significant speed shimmy or real issues, but I always like to mention when there is some frame flex present, especially on these step-through frames, which can be a big issue. So what were some of the highs and lows from the review? Let's start with what I enjoyed.
Mid-drive motors aren't that common below this price, especially when combined with hub gearing and a belt drive. This Bafang M410 motor, while not the most powerful, provides smooth, progressive assistance. That feels like an extension of your effort, not a separate system propelling you along. For most riders, that difference makes for a more enjoyable overall ride. The belt drive and geared hub combo is very low maintenance. There's no chain to lube, no derailleur to knock out of alignment, and no cassette to clean. This makes for quiet and grease-free operation in all weather. For a year-round commuter in a North American city, this setup saves a lot of time and money that would be spent on maintenance and repairs. The Lancet Pro MD lasted 34 miles on pedal assist 5 and over 46 miles on pedal assist 3. These results put it ahead of all comparable bikes that we've tested. The large 720 watt-hour battery combined with the mid-drive motor's efficiency returns enough range to give many urban commuters multiple days of riding. Every bike has its problems, and the Lancet Pro MD had a few quirks that you should be aware of. The Bafang KD686 display is small and hard to read in variable light conditions. On overcast days, the dark background washes out the text, and the font is small. For a daily commuter, you need a display that you can read at a glance no matter the conditions. The M410 delivers smooth, comfortable assist for everyday riding. But 80 Newton meters of torque means the bike doesn't feel powerful on climbs, or want to push to 32 kilometers an hour. It cruises happily at 20 to 25, and steeper grades require some real effort from you. If you're coming from a more powerful mid-drive or looking for peppy hub motor performance, the M410 will feel kinda underpowered. If you want an efficient, measured assistance for flat and moderate terrain, this is the right motor for you. Make sure you know which one you're after before you buy. In my opinion, the quality of the SR Suntour hydraulic suspension fork is a bit of a mismatch for the rest of the build. I found that it easily bottoms out under my 200 pounds, and it compresses heavily under hard braking. It also doesn't have lockout, and adjusting the preload does little to address the situation. The Lancet Pro performed really well in our 2 range tests. Using the highest pedal assist level, the bike lasted 34.5 miles, with almost 1,400 feet of climbing. In the middle assist level, pedal assist 3, this stretched to 46.1 miles. In both tests, the Lancet Pro outperformed our 4 comparison commuter e-bikes, and by a significant margin. Using the highest pedal assist level again, the Lancet Pro MD went from 0 to 20 miles per hour in 10 seconds. Now that's slower than the Express 750 and Discover 2, which are both hub drive e-bikes, and each one of those took 7 seconds. It fell square in the middle of the two mid-drive comparison bikes, the Aygo X and the Rambless Premium. Throttle acceleration was a different story. The Lancet took a leisurely 21 seconds to reach 20 miles per hour, putting it firmly at the back of the pack. As always, I tested the Lancet on our 2 hill climbs. I got to the top of the gradual climb in 3 minutes and 15 seconds at an average speed of 17.7 miles per hour, putting it in the middle of the 3 mid-drives that I've tested. On the steep climb, it also took 3 minutes and 15 seconds to reach the top, making it the slowest of the comparison bikes. This result is worth considering if your daily route includes steeper hills. In our brake test, the Lancet Pro MD came to a complete stop from 20 miles per hour in 19.5 feet, which is a solid result, and it again puts it in the middle of our comparison group. So is the Lancet Pro MD worth the price? After my time with the bike, I feel confident in saying that this bike is great value. The combination of a Gates carbon belt drive and Nexus hub saves you time and money. And the 720 watt-hour battery delivers tons of range in real-world riding conditions. The Lancet's mid-drive motor provides a smooth, natural pedal feel. But if you're looking for out-and-out performance, this isn't your bike. It's not very fast, it's not a super strong climber, and it won't push to its top speed without some significant effort. It is, however, a comfortable and measured performer. My only gripes were the basic display and the soft fork. If those two issues were addressed in a future update, there would be very little to complain about here. Also, it's worth mentioning that since EBIKECAN is a new company without many reviews, we can't make a comment on their warranty and longer-term customer support. With all that said, if you're a year-round commuter who wants a low-maintenance mid-drive e-bike with excellent range, I think the Lancet Pro MD is a worthwhile consideration. So what do you think of the Lancet Pro? Let me know in the comments. And if you own any of EBIKECAN's models, I'd love to hear your experience. If you're still looking for your next bike, check out BikeRide.com. We've got hundreds of bike reviews, plus handy search tools and our curated best bike list. You can also find ride events near you to join, brush up on maintenance with our repair guides, or discuss anything to do with bikes in our forums. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next review.